Good morning. It is Monday morning. This is Facebook Live. This is Brunansky's vlog. We've got a lot to cover today, including some of the Grammy winners last night, the weekend box office report, who came in the top 5, and maybe one or two other little mentions in the box office. Plus, we're going to take a look at one news story that broke that also kind of ties in with the Grammys. And then we have one special shout out that we're going to do as well. So give us a second here. We'll let everybody get logged into today's Facebook Live session. Thank you guys so much for joining me. And we'll get started here in just 1 second.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Jeremy Brunansky with Brunanskys Vlog. I've got my iced tea.
I've got my iced tea.
I've got my iced tea here. I've got the box office report from this weekend. And let's go ahead and take a look at one news story then that dropped this morning. We are live right now. We are going to cover Friday's box office. So for this weekend's box office, on these Facebook Live sessions, we do like to cover the weekend box office. So what does that mean? That means that this is pretty impressive, as you'll hear in a minute. And I'm not going to give any spoilers, so don't worry. In theory, that film should have done gangbusters. This movie is so much fun. I think the rewatchability factor is super high. Wow, this was actually a fun time. I'm on board. Sign me up. Game over. If you're watching this on replay, thank you. All right, let's just get into it. Number 5, number 4, and number 3, number 2, and number 1.
All right, we're back. Good morning, everybody. I'm Jeremy Brunansky. This is Brunansky's Vlog, live on Facebook this morning. We've got a lot to talk about. We got the weekend box office. Who came in the top 5? We've got some Grammy winners that we're going to discuss. And also we have a movie news story that ties in with the Grammys that you'll hear about in a second. Plus, we are going to take a look at a non-spoiler review for a DVD I just watched. It's going to be dropping on the YouTube channel Brunansky's Vlog a little bit later this week, as well as a special segment that was recorded as well that'll be dropping later this week. And then we have one very special shout out that we're going to do today on this channel. So thank you so much for joining me today to discuss all of the topics that we have this morning. All right, so let's go ahead and jump first into the box office report. Now, we like to pull this up and take a look at who is in the top 5. So the top 5 earners going from the lowest at number 5 to the highest at number 1. So let's go ahead and take a look at that right now. And coming in at number 5, we have The Post at $8,850,000. The Greatest Showman at number 4 at $9,500,000. Hostels at $10,205,000. Jumanji: Welcome to the Jungle at $16,400,000. And Maze Runner: Death Cure at $23,500,000. So I think the big thing here for me is looking at the top 5, not so much as how much money did they make, but how much money did they make with a fluctuation in theaters. So how many theaters were they in? And then how many theaters did they get pulled from? So, and then how much money did they make? So looking at all of that, we can see The Post came in at number 5 again with just almost $9 million, but it actually dropped out of over 200 theaters. So I think that really speaks to how much people are getting out to see this movie, and I think that's warranted. Now, if you are watching this on the YouTube replay, I'll go ahead and throw my review up right here on the card, so you can just click that card on the YouTube replay. That'll take you right to my review, so you can hear more thoughts about that. But yeah, and then The Greatest Showman, again, continues to make money. It is an entertaining flick. If you click that card that I just threw up for The Post, that'll take you right to the movie review playlist, and you can see my review for The Greatest Showman there. But that dropped out of 160 theaters, and that's still making money. So people are still filling up the theaters to see this film for the theaters that it's actually showing in. So that speaks to how well the film is. And then Jumanji: Welcome to the Jungle, no surprise here. That actually dropped out of 150 theaters. But again, the theaters that it's showing up in, people are filling in those seats. So again, it speaks to how well in general the film is doing and how enjoyable it is. And I think it's warranted. I had a lot of fun in Jumanji. I had more fun than I thought I would. I thought I was going to have fun, and then they took me even higher on the fun scale. So definitely, if you still haven't seen Jumanji, I definitely recommend getting out to check that film out, because it is just a generally good, fun, entertaining action comedy flick about what life would be like if you were trapped in a video game. So let's take a look at the number 10 spots here, just real quick. Padmava, so I did a little lookup on that. That is coming in at number 10. That's actually a movie coming out of Bollywood that is presenting a little controversy because of the topics, I guess, that it deals with. Sometimes here in America, we forget that there's censorships in other countries where like they're like that. We can't show a movie like that. It kind of escapes us here in America, but again, apparently it's having some issues overseas because of the content that it deals with. But that's a Bollywood film, so that came in at number 10. And then also in the top 10, we have 12 Strong, Den of Thieves, Shape of Water, Paddington 2. So overall, the top 10 is looking strong. The top 10 is looking strong. All right, let's go ahead and move into a news story here. And this is going to tie into a little bit of the Grammys as well, because what happened is at one of the parties for the Grammys, Clive Davis, who, if you've been following music for any time, you know who Clive Davis is. He's a very successful figurehead in the music industry and has been for decades. In fact, if you're a reader and you like biographies, it's thicker, right? It's thicker. But I'm going to recommend Clive Davis, The Soundtrack of My Life. This book is fantastic. Again, if you're into music and the music industry as a business, as well as a creative art form, this is a great read. Again, you can see it's a little thicker, so it's going to take you a little time. If you're watching this on the YouTube replay, I'll throw a link for it in the show notes below. But definitely recommend this if you like biographies and you like music. So check that out. Really good book. But he announced at one of the parties last night that they're going to be making an Aretha Franklin biopic. So a movie about Aretha Franklin. And Aretha Franklin handpicked, she chose Jennifer Hudson to play the role of her. Brilliant. I mean, let's be honest here. This is great. I mean, if you saw Dreamgirls, which I'm assuming you have, and you loved it like I did, then you know that Jennifer Hudson was the musical everything in that movie. Yes, there are people who are like, Beyonce is great. Beyonce was literally just Beyonce in that movie. Jennifer Hudson came in and just dynamite force. Her vocal power, her dynamic range, incredible. So to have her come in and do songs like You Make Me Feel, Rock Steady, I can't wait just to hear Jennifer Hudson's take on Aretha Franklin. And also her performance as an actor in that film too was incredibly good. So I'm very excited about Jennifer Hudson coming in to play Aretha Franklin. And I think it's super dope that Aretha Franklin was like, you're my girl. You're going to do it. And Clive Davis was like, heads up, everybody, this is happening. So I think that's super rad. I'm looking forward to this. I hope you guys are too. Throw your comments below with your thoughts about Jennifer Hudson playing Aretha Franklin in the Aretha Franklin biopic. So let's go ahead and move now into, and that news came to us from Variety. So give me a second here. And I will go ahead and throw that in the comments section of this Facebook Live. So if you want to go ahead and check that out, you can just click on the link in the comments section below. If you're watching this on YouTube replay, I will go ahead and throw it in the description box. So just go ahead and expand that description box and the link will be waiting for you right there. All right. So let's go ahead and move now into the Grammys. We had the Grammys yesterday. I missed it because I was here working until late last night to try and get this morning's episode up, which I hope you all watched. So the Grammys happened. There was a lot of winners. You know, there's more losers than winners, right? Because you have 5 people per category and only one person can win. So you had a lot of winners last night. So I went through the list this morning. I just pulled it up on Billboard. And I'll throw the Billboard link in the comments as well. So again, if you're watching this on Facebook Live, just go ahead and go right down there into the comment section and bada boom. It's waiting for you. And then same thing for everybody watching this on YouTube replay. Just expand that description box and bladow. It's waiting for you. Lots of sound effects this morning. It's happening. All right, so we had a lot of winners last night. Just wanted to touch on a couple that are key areas that I like to look at. Obviously, we got the big ones, album and record of the year, song of the year. Bruno Mars had a huge night last night, so he walked away with a ton of Grammys. So I'm assuming at some point this afternoon, he's going to wake up from the revelries of celebration last night and just be like, I am a rock star beyond the level I was a rock star at 48 hours ago. Because that guy took home a bunch of Grammys. And deservedly so. I think 24K was a great album. It's one of the albums I actually listen to when I'm getting stuff set up to do recording here for this show. So I'll throw it on iTunes and just have that bumping while I'm getting all the lights set up and everything else. It's a good album. Check it out. Yeah, I liked it. So other folks who came in, Best New Artist. I'm not familiar with her, but congratulations to her for winning. I got to check out her album, I guess, since she's the Best New Artist. And that is Alicia Cara. My apologies if I just completely destroyed your name. And to all of her fans, don't at me because I have no idea who this person is. But I'll take a look and see why the Grammys feel that she's the Best New Artist. Take a listen to that album and then go forward from there. Also want to give a shout out to Tony Bennett, Kendrick Lamar, Ed Sheeran, and the Foo Fighters for picking up awards in their respective categories as well. Big Foo Fighters fan, have been for over 20 years. So big Foo Fighters fan, and Tony Bennett as well. Kendrick Lamar, I've got, I think, 2 of his albums in my iTunes playlist right now. And then Ed Sheeran, also a big fan of Ed Sheeran. So, and then in the non-popular, I guess, like in the gigantic zeitgeist of music, right? What everybody's listening to on, their top 40 radio stations. We're moving away from that, and we're moving into categories that are kind of a little bit more specific to what I listen to on occasion or what I've studied. And that is going to be Best Jazz Instrumental. Now, he didn't win, but I was happy to see him get nominated because I've been listening to his music since 2006. And that's Joey DiFrancesco. And it's Joey DiFrancesco and The People, the album called Project Freedom. Now, the album I've been listening to is called Organic Vibes. Really good instrumental jazz. It's got marimba in it. So if you like kind of just straight up acoustic jazz in the vein of Coltrane and Miles Davis, you might want to check that album out. I got to go back and listen to this one now because I didn't realize he dropped a new album, and it was nominated. It didn't win, but it was nominated. But hey, this guy's been putting out solid music now for quite a while. I mean, like I said, Organic Vibes came out in 2006, so he's been around. So check that out. Check both albums out. And then Best Latin Jazz Album, we're going to send it to Jazz. Congratulations to Jazz Tango and the Pablo Ziegler Trio for picking that up. A big fan of Latin jazz. I studied Latin jazz drumming for a couple years. Don't ask me to play a samba, or a sango, or a samba. Oh man, I can't even pronounce it anymore. It's been that long. Couldn't do it to save my life, but I used to be able to do it. Probably take a couple hours in the woodshed to try and get those skills back. But hey, congratulations to those guys, those bands for picking up those albums in the jazz and Latin jazz category. Going to go ahead and check those albums out, see what the haps is for their skill level. All right. So let's go ahead and move now into just 2 real quick non-spoiler reviews. These are going to be dropping on the channel later this week. The first is a non-spoiler special segment we have a DVD Blu-ray coming out, another DC animated film called Gotham by Gaslight. And it basically is like, what if Batman lived during Victorian times and he was actually he was trying to catch Jack the Ripper. So it's really cool, but it hasn't come out yet. But what I did do is I recorded, and it'll be going up later this week on the channel. I recorded a review of the 2 issues. It's a small book, right? But it's the 2 issues of Gotham by Gaslight. So if you're watching this on the YouTube replay, I'll throw a link for that in the description below, and you can check it out. But it's a really good story. We find out that Bruce Wayne's been studying with Sigmund Freud. He's hunting Jack the Ripper. And then there's a second story that's a little bit more kind of like in the vein of like what Batman would be doing normally, as opposed to like hunting a Jack the Ripper, right? Really good story. Again, it's Batman in Victorian England, Victorian America style. So late 1800s. Pretty cool. And yeah, it's a good story. There's a lot of interesting things that happen because it's Victorian time period. So check that out. Again, if you're watching this on the YouTube replay, I'll throw a link for it in the comments, in the description box below. Next up, we got a DVD review dropping later this week on the YouTube channel. And this is going to be for a movie that I was unfamiliar with. But when I was at the used record store, I walked in and on one of the end caps. You know how you walk into a store and they've got like merchandise like on the end of an aisle, like on the end cap. I picked up Paddington, right, which you guys saw my review for. If you haven't, I'll throw the card up right here so you can check out the Paddington DVD review. And then right after that, you can go watch my Paddington 2 review. But right next to Paddington was this movie called Brigsby Bear, Whoop, there it is. Brigsby Bear. Now, I didn't know anything about this. I had no clue, but I picked it up and I was like, what's a Brigsby Bear? And it stars Kyle Mooney, Claire Danes, Mark Hamill, Greg Kinnear, Matt Walsh, Michaela Watkins. So yeah, you heard me right. Mark Hamill, like Luke Skywalker, Mark Hamill. And it's actually an incredibly touching movie. It's a comedy, but it's like a heartfelt comedy. And it's weird. Because so this guy grows up in like a bunker, like a nuclear fallout shelter bunker with his parents. And he grows up, he's like in his 20s. And then all of a sudden the cops break in and take him back because it turns out he was kidnapped as a child and he's been living in this bunker with this family who's not his family. So he finally gets to his actual family and he's in love with this show called Brigsby Bear. And as it turns out, his kidnappers, who he thought were his parents, every week were like recording this TV show for him with like all these costumes, and they're creating all of this world for him to keep him entertained. And he's just obsessed with it because that's all he's known for his whole life. So now he gets out in the real world. He has no idea how to interact with people. He's not quite sure like what to do with this new family that he has that he didn't know about. So he's completely displaced, but he always keeps going back to the one thing he loves. So even though he's struggling to find his identity and to figure things out, he just sticks with what he loves, and what he loves actually ends up bringing together a bunch of people. It ends up uniting his family. He ends up making new friends by just following his passion and being a good overall person. He's just a kind-hearted guy. Really good movie, really funny movie. Greg Kinnear is fantastic in it. Just, again, overall. And then, like, there's even some redeeming value for the kidnappers at the end, just because of how nice this guy is, because of how good his heart is. Even though he's in the midst of, like, I don't know what life is, because for my entire life, I thought you guys were my parents, and now I find out you're kidnappers, and this is my parents, and I have a sister. It's a really complicated movie, but it does a great job of just sticking to the theme of, if you love something, pursue that, follow your heart, and then like that love that you have for the thing will unite the people around you and will actually kind of help move you forward like in life with new friends and new purpose and everything else. Just a really solid film and super funny at the same time. But I will warn you, I love dry humor. Big fan of it. And this has got some very dry humor in it. So you got to be watching, and if the thing pops into your head and you're like, are they making a joke right now or am I just not getting it? They're making a joke. It's just that dry. So check it out. Again, excuse me. That's Brigsby Bear. And if you're watching this on the YouTube replay, I'll throw a link for that in the description box below as well. So we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. But before we go, let me just check the board to make sure we don't have any updates that we need to do here or any questions that we need to answer. 1 second. Let's give a quick refresh here. Get some more of that iced tea. All right, we're looking good. All right, so I want to give one before we sign off. I just want to give one gigantic shout out to my parents, because tomorrow is their wedding anniversary. And they have been married for 47 years together. What? Yeah, 47-year anniversary tomorrow. So congratulations to my parents for 47 years of sticking together. Through highs and lows and everything else that life throws at us, right? Incredible. I don't get it, but they love each other, and they've been loving each other for 47 plus years, going from dating all the way to tomorrow, right? So congratulations to both of you guys. Love you guys. 47 years is nuts. But hey, you got me, and you got 4 grandkids and another son and his wife and all the cousins and everything else. It's been a crazy run. So happy anniversary to you guys. 47 years. Incredible. All right. Hope you guys, we're going to get out of here now. Hope you guys have a great week. Hope you guys have enjoyed today's Facebook live stream. If you have, go ahead and give me that thumbs up, because that actually helps people find this show that like movie-related shows on Facebook Live and on YouTube. And if you're watching this on YouTube and you're watching it on the replay, thank you so much as well. Go ahead and click that subscribe button if you haven't, and then also click the bell as well so you get the notifications when the new content drops. All right, everybody, I'm going to get out of here. Again, thank you guys so much for joining me today on Facebook Live. We'll see you guys next Monday at 10 a.m. PST for a brand new episode And again, one last time, happy anniversary to my parents. All right, everybody, have a great week, and we will see you next Monday at 10 a.m. PST for a brand new episode of Brunansky's Vlog. Take care. Bye-bye. Hi, everybody. I'm Jeremy Brunansky, and you've just finished watching a Facebook Live replay. Now, if you enjoyed that, you may also want to check out the weekly show playlist, as well as the movie news playlist, which covers just the news segments from every Monday's episode. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up and click that subscribe. We'll see you guys next Monday right here on YouTube for a brand new episode of Brunansky's Vlog at 10 a.m. PST. Have a great week. Take care.